8th and last place we have Brawl. This is because Brawl is good for lower tier games if you have less trophies, but as soon as you start to go into higher tier games, you start to lose with him because he's quite bad. His range is quite good, although his shots barely do any damage, and he doesn't have that much health, but his health is average. The most annoying part to use Brawl is his superpower. Sure, he can break walls and get away from players when he's being ambushed, but the problem with that is he doesn't actually do any damage when he does that unless you crash him into someone, and I find that quite annoying about him because usually you would use a superpower to get lots like extra damage out of the player, and that is why Brawl is last. Not much to say about him. In 7th place we have Barley. This is because you can find brawlers that are better than Barley. For example, Brawl Dynamite. If you want to use a long distance brawler to get over objects and hit enemies from above, Dynamite does way more damage. Back to Barley. His shots are good because, they don't do a lot of damage, right? But once they're on the floor, they leave a puddle of poison, which allows your enemies to step right in it, and they do lose health from that. I would use Barley in team matches where you can just sit back and help from the back, but I wouldn't use him regularly as he can often lose trophies when it gets to higher tier games. Barley's good. If you want to use him, go ahead. I'm not stopping you, but that's what I think about him. His superpower is quite cool because it means that you leave a big patch on the floor where if the enemies step on it, then they lose because they lose health from that. And I would say he's 7th because you can find brawlers that are better than him. In 6th place we have El Primo. This is because I personally don't like El Primo because I think his damage is quite good, but only when it comes to close range, and usually you can find a lot of brawlers that can do long range, which I think is a problem. I think overall, he's pretty good. He has a lot of health considering he's a rare brawler, and his damage, they load quite quick because he punches, so it has to load quite quick, otherwise it would be a big disadvantage. I think in lower tier games it's really easy to play with him and win, but in higher tier games it starts to get a bit harder. One last thing to say about him is his superpower. It's pretty good because it means you can destroy objects and come in from above, where while you do the jump, no one can harm you, which I think is quite cool if you want to get away or you want to get closer to a brawler who's quite far away. His range is okay, it's close range, but for a close range brawler, his range is pretty cool. And yeah, I just think he should be 6th because I think the other rare brawlers are better than him. In 5th place we have Nita. This is because Nita is a very solid choice. Nita's damage, it does an average amount of damage, which is good because it's not too little. I would say it can do more, but if it does more, then that would give everyone else quite a big disadvantage because she's already a solid pick. I think her superpower where she gets to pull out a bear is very cool because that means you've got another bot joining your team, and what you can do is you can follow that bear because to find enemies, because they're usually hiding in bushes, and the bear can detect that because it's a bot, so you can follow it and then kill them, which I think is quite good. I think her own health could be improved a little bit because it's quite little, but overall she's a pretty good brawler. Her range is quite good because she can shoot quite far away, which I think is really a good thing for Nita, because with the bear you can let him find it, and then you can from far away you can see where your bear went and where there's an enemy, and you can shoot it down. And another thing I like about her is that you can just spam her shots, so you can send like 3 shots at one time, which I think is quite cool because you don't really have that with other brawlers. Well, you do have it with some brawlers, but not every brawler. And yeah, so if you're looking for a brawler, Nita's pretty good in low tier games, and she can be good in high tier games if you level her up. In 4th place we have Colt. This is because I personally think he can be a very good brawler if you use him correctly. Colt has 2 things that let him down: his health and his shots, because his health is very low. He starts with not enough health and just a few shots from any brawler and he can be gone in a second. and his shots are a problem because while they do a lot of damage, they take a long time to fire, which can be a problem if you want to reload or fire fast like I just tried to do. But overall, he can be very good if you're playing solo showdown because he can do a lot of damage, and when you gather energy boxes, it gives him health, and his damage and his shots, they do more damage, which I think is pretty cool, and I personally really enjoy using Colt. In third place, we have Rosa. This is because Rosa is one of the strongest rare brawlers there is. She's really easy to use, and she's very good in low tier games, and she can be quite good in higher tier games. As you can see, I have one of her gadgets unlocked on her gadget. This one is really cool because it means anyone in the bushes is slowed down, which means if someone's in the bushes and you're having like a bushes battle, then you can slow them down. Plus, they take 100 damage, and she's quite fast. She has a lot of health. She has 7,020 health to begin with, which is phenomenal. It's like really, it's a lot of health. And she is a short range brawler, but that still makes her very good. And I love using Rosa because she's so easy, and I really love her superpower because it means that she takes 75% less damage for 3 seconds, and she can just shoot and she does more damage, and it's more consistent, and she's really fun to use against long range brawlers and short range brawlers, because if you're using a long range brawler, just try and hide and wait for the acid to come closer, and then they have no choice but to get closer, and you can destroy them within seconds. So I really recommend using Rosa, and it's really fun to use her because she's quite easy. And if you have Rosa unlocked, I would definitely recommend putting your resources into her. In second place, we have Brock. This is because Brock is very solid. I really like using Brock because he's a very good long range sniper. And if you put resources into him and you get his star power and his gadgets unlocked, he can become very, very strong and solid, and I would really recommend using him. This 1v5 game was very hard because using Brock individually can be a bit hard, but again, if you use long distance, he can be very, very good, and I would use him in lower tier and higher tier games because he's Brock. I mean, he doesn't really lose his speciality. Sure, it's a bit harder to use him once you're in a higher tier game, but it's still really fun. And yeah, I think it's something that a lot of the other rare brawlers lack. They're not really good in higher tier games, but he's very, very good. He's very solid. And I mean, let's talk about his superpower. Because it shoots, instead of one rocket, it shoots a lot of rockets, which is cool. But it's it's what you would expect. It's not a downgrade, but it's not an upgrade. I would like to see something more special, but it's still fine. I mean, it still does lots of damage for big areas. So if you've got like a bunch of enemies bunched up together, then you could easily destroy all of them in one throw. And yeah, I would use Brock a lot. Jessie, and 2 shots, and I defeated her, so yeah.